Hello. Right, here we are again, back with another Facebook Live. Oh, I don't know why that's come up. Hold on, sorry, I'll get rid of that. Right, I don't know if anybody's going to join me, but I'm just going to... Right, tonight, what with all the madness going on, thought we'd have a little bit of light relief from it all. So, as we're actually meant to be having classes tomorrow, and obviously they've been cancelled for the obvious reason, so I thought I'd show you one of the cards that we would have been doing in class tomorrow, which is this one here. I'm not getting a feed. I don't know if anybody's joining me yet because I'm still up. Yeah, here we go. Right, so yeah, so we're making this card, Two Little Girls by the Beach, and it's very simple. Well, not simple to do actually, I have to say, but it's simple in nature, and it comes from this set called Beautiful Moments, which I absolutely love. And there's several sets in the Stampin' Up catalogue that are similar to this. And but yeah, this is lovely. So obviously it could be mother and daughter, two little girls, lady on her own, some nice sentiments, thinking of you, collect beautiful moments, and you're somebody's blessing. But yeah, there's quite a few things you can do with it. Watercolouring, Stampin' Blends, emboss and resist techniques, which I shall show you in a minute. So yeah, so this was one we would have been doing tomorrow, and all it is, it's I've used a sponge brayer, but I've masked the little girls off beforehand, so I shall show you how to do that. We have done masking before. I'll just talk to you about them in a minute. I haven't shown my face, have I? But maybe I'll show you at the end. I'll pop up early. And this is another one. So this is, I've actually managed to use all three designs on the stamp set to do my cards. So there's obviously that's that one. And to do this one, it's a technique called paper piecing. And basically you get some pretty paper, preferably with quite a, if it's a small design like this, preferably a small, you want a small print, you don't want anything too big. Well, you can, but I just think it looks better with a small print. So obviously a little polka dot on the little girl and a nice floral print on the lady. So yeah, you just get your paper, you rubber stamp over the image, and then you cut the dresses out, and then meanwhile on this cardstock you stamp the little girl, or stamp the girl and the lady. And then when the dresses that you cut out, you just stick them on, so it's a little bit more raised, which gives it a nice effect actually. But yes, lovely technique. It works quite well. It would actually work on these kimonos as well, but I didn't have a print small enough for the kimono design, so I didn't do that. But it would work on that as well. Lovely. So that's one, and then and that one, and then there's this one I did on like a driftwood background, because obviously coast. I thought it was still a very coastal theme. And that's the emboss resist, so it's white embossing and then coloured in. Oh, hello Wanda, how are you? Full up after your tea? I've just had mine as well actually. I was naughty though, I had scampi and chips. I wasn't healthy like you, but hey ho, that's what I normally have on a Tuesday, I must admit, because that's easy for me to do, and I'm doing my Facebook Live. So anyway, so yeah, this one you just colour in, when you've done the white embossing, you just colour in with a white watercolour pencil, if you can see that, and then you colour over the top with what I can't remember. Oh yeah, I think I use a Bermuda Bay watercolour and pencil as well. Yeah, this gives it a bit of a unique look. Yeah, we're not doing that one, so that's what we would have been doing in class tomorrow, but sadly will not be going ahead. So anyway, back to these. Oh, who else? Hi Alison, are you all right? Good, I hope you are anyway. I'm saying good, you didn't even answer me, but I'm asking. Sorry, excuse me, I am cracking up. I'm cracking up. I'm going mad already. Hi Susan, couldn't find you. So I can't find myself sometimes, Susan. I don't know. I'm going around in circles at the moment. My head is all over the place, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. Anyway, right. So yeah, that's that one I've done. Then also afterwards, I'm going to show you these pretty papers. It's the backgrounds we're actually concentrating on. They are freebies at the moment during our celebration, which ends March the 31st. So you've got about a week to go. That is a week today, I believe. Yeah. To get them with a £45 spend. And what they are, they're They come in big sheets, 12 by 12, and I believe there's 4 designs. So there's these ones. Yeah, some of them are silver, like a silver embossed, and some of them are rose gold, which is Alison's favourite. She loves her rose gold, don't you, Alison? So didn't quite know what to do with these, but then I came up with an idea, so I'll show you that in a minute. And I must admit, I did pinch an idea off Patty Bennett, who's a US demonstrator, and she used watercolouring technique on these, so I pinched that idea, and that's basically how I did the other ones as well, but not, yeah, slightly different to her. And then, yeah, those I did a sponge dauber technique. I'll show you. These ones you can colour either in with watercolour or you stamp and blends. But I have to say, I did the stamp and blends, and they did take me quite a long while, so I gave up and tried to, well, just resort to doing watercolour actually. So, but yeah, and you spend £45, you can get a pack of 12 sheets of those for free, and they would normally retail around about the £13 mark. So if you were to buy them, so very good. And here's what I did with them. So, yep, that's that one. That's that plain one. So I thought, just colour them in with stamp and blends. Just, you can't see it very well because it catches the light. Obviously, you can do them very male orientated if you liked, or pretty colours for ladies. So there's that one. I've actually made some cards as well somewhere. Don't know. I'll lay my hands on them in a minute, hopefully. These are the watercolour ones, just watercoloured in. And although it's not actually watercolour paper, as long as you don't soak it, it's okay, and it does dry eventually. So yeah, so that's quite nice, quite vibrant. There's a couple of them I did. This was a sponge dauber technique, so I just daubed it in the middle and then just sponged all over to create that one, and that one a slightly brighter one. This one was, no, I watercoloured that because I got fed up with colouring stamp and blends. Don't know where the ones are. Oh, I don't know where the ones are that I coloured in with stamp and blends, but they look very similar. Don't know what I've done with them, unless I've used them. Obviously didn't bring those up, unless they're, no, never mind. But yeah, you get a similar effect, but yeah, just take along what you can colour all the background in, and that does take a while. And this one is what I've done on this card, and I'll show, that's what I'll be demonstrating after I've demonstrated the little girls on the beach. So plenty to do. Whoops, plenty to do tonight. Better late than never, definitely, Susan. Yep, stuffed. Wonder. Yeah, I couldn't eat my tea. I don't know. I was starving, hungry, and then I sat down to eat it, and I thought, no, I don't really want it now. Typical. Oh yeah, here's the cards that I did. So there's that one. Oh yeah, that one with the flower. Oh, and I've also used the vellum, which is in the second wave of Celebration. Like this is actually that out of the second book, and that's with a £45 spend as well. I believe you get a pack of 12 of those. I'll just cut all that up. Ah, here's the watercolour one. Sorry, stamp and blends. And you can't actually see it, but I did colour the background in with Pool Party. But yeah, it's very subtle, so I thought, took a little bit too much time doing that. But hey ho. That one's we're doing tonight. And then I just made a quick thank you card, which I thought would be nice for a mail. And one for the first time I've used my bike set. Whee! My triathlon set I've had for ages and haven't used it, so I thought, right, I must make a card. So I made my happy birthday one as well. So that's it. Right, we will crack on now. Right, I will warn you now, this could go all terribly wrong with this card, because I did have a little bit of a disaster. I did one yesterday and had a bit of a disaster with it, hence why I'm showing you the original. And I thought, well, I'll be brave and I'll show you my disaster one. So here we go. It was all lovely and perfect until right up to the end, when I decided to do a little bit more stamping, create a little bit more shadows and texture, and I just went too dark with the soft suede and I ruined it. So yeah, wasn't very happy after all that work spent on it, but I thought, no, not good enough. So I put it in the bin. But then I thought, no, I'll get it out of the bin and I'll show people that, yeah, we all make mistakes sometimes, and nearly cried. But then I thought, no, move on and just, yeah, and deal with it basically. So I did. Right, so, but back to this one tonight. So as I said, we're going to do a bit of masking, which I have showed you before. To mask, you can use post-it notes, and I have got some long post-it notes here. So you can just use that. Make sure you put some of the stamping on the sticky side. but I actually use masking paper like I showed you before. I bought a pack of it ages ago from good old Amazon. Stamping mask paper. You get 12 sheets in there, and that's lasted me quite a while. So I think that's a good investment, because unfortunately and Stampin' Up don't sell it, but I wish they did, but they don't. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to crack on and just pray and hope that all goes well and that I don't ruin it tonight. So here we go. So that's my base layer. So to start off with, we stamp the little girls in black tuxedo black memento ink, because we're using Stampin' Blends to colour them in. So, how are we all dealing with the lockdown? Not that we've been in it for long. Are we all going mad yet? I'm not actually. I'm just going about my business as usual, really, and trying not to think about it too much, which is easier said than done. But yeah, try not to go on the telly too much and the Facebook and the media and all that lot, really. Right, so stamp that down. I think it's okay. What you think my cards? Yeah, yeah. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, I suppose, Susan. I don't think it's okay. I wasn't happy with it, so it'll get binned, I'm afraid. But that's just me. So, right. So the little girls. Then I would suggest where we want the shoreline. Now, and where I did make a mistake with this, with the little girl's dress. Haha. I will just show you on this. There's actually there's a gap here, and I thought that was part of the little girl's dress, but on the original one I didn't. Yeah, on the original one I did it as though it was her dress, but it's actually not. It's the gap in between the bucket, so you kind of want to be careful where you put your line. I think I did it okay on this one yesterday. I filled it in for the beach, so yeah, I'm going to make sure I go above that. Hello Trevor. Wow, Trevor's watching. How are you? Right, so just do a pencil line roughly where I want the shoreline to be. It's probably a little bit higher, but that'll be alright. You probably can't see that, that's because I don't want it to show, really. Alright, and then we have to mask the children off. Now, I've already got one done, so all you do on your masking paper, which I suppose I should show you really, and I haven't got a scrap piece up here. I'll do another one because I've actually torn the little girls one already. I could do with doing another mask. But yeah, the good things with masks is they do masks. You can use them several times before you have to cut out another one. So, but yeah, it's just no different to cutting on, to stamping on cardstock. You just stamp it on the masking paper, like that, and then just cut it out. So no big deal. Obviously, if it's a set that's got dies, even better. Well, sometimes that's not good actually, because those dies sometimes don't get close enough to the image, so you're probably still best to cut it out by hand. So yeah, so here's one I did earlier, apart from I have chopped them in half. It's actually probably easier to handle and get them straight. You do have to spend a little bit of time making sure that you've got your image covered well. Just a little bit raggedy there, so just got to make sure. So they're nicely covered, and then with the long post-it note that I showed you, you just roughly tear it. You can see already. You just roughly putting it where your shoreline was. You don't have to be too pedantic because I go over that anyway. And then we're just going to sponge brayer with crumb cake. Usual story with the sponge brayer. Well, we'll just tell you about the sponge brayers. I've actually invested in a new set just recently because I use them so much. And just to let you know that you get them in a box like this, and you get 2 handles. So you get 2 handles and 4 foam rollers for £7.50, which I think is very, very good value actually, considering how many things you can do with them. I'll quickly show you that. So back to this. Just gonna Go backwards and forwards, doing the beach. Obviously, if you wanted the sand to be a little bit more orangey, you'd choose your appropriate colours, but kind of up to you what you do. You could use, well, I am going to use Sahara sand in a minute. I'm using crumb cake first. So, please tell me you're all crafting at the moment. I hope you are. Well, not perhaps you, Trevor, but everybody else. Ideal time. I know it's a little bit hard to focus at the moment, but that's probably enough, because I think I might have overdone it before, actually. That was my trouble. So, I'll leave it at that. Then I'm going to bring in Sahara sand. And yeah, so I don't think I bought the other set out by the time. I've actually used stamps from another set called By the Tide. Yes, I have bought them, and it's been in the catalogue for a while actually, but it's a very good set. So you can see Lighthouse, and I know we've already got a Lighthouse set, but yeah, it's very good sand effect. So this is what I'm using it for, just to get the sand effect. Obviously you've got your sun up there, and for the sea. So it's out of this set, just to show you that. But yeah, this is where I've got to be a bit careful that I don't go mad. And I didn't put my foam mat up, but it doesn't matter too much, because I just want to create some subtle shading really to make it look like the beach. But I'm not going to overdo it tonight and ruin it. I think that might do before I ruin it. Right. I'll just put that down there. I need that. Right, so then we switch it over. And yet again, don't have to be too, I know it will leave a white line, but as I said, it doesn't matter, because we're going to sponge dauber in that, where I want it a little bit heavier anyway for the shoreline. So normally you might want to be a little bit more careful depending on what you're doing, but as I say, with this I'm not fussed. So then we're going to use Seaside Spray to spray the sea. Not yet, I'm now off. Oh, Susan, not off to work again. Oh, good luck. I hope it's not too frantic for you. I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me anyway. Kind of at the wrong angle for this. Alright, so yet again, just backwards and forwards. You probably can't even see that I'm putting much colour on, but yeah, there's more going on than it looks on the camera. It's getting darker now. I think that will do. Oh no, I need that again. So yeah, still keep the little girl's masks on. So yeah, you can see now there's awful white lines. You think, oh no, that looks awful. But not to worry, because with a sponge dauber, got to make sure I pick up the right one. Oh, not that colour. I'm going to put, yeah, actually, I'll do that next. Then I'll do it. Right, so let's just put the C in over the little girls and put, yeah, it would be better if I had a sponge mat, but I haven't bought one up. Probably would have been a good idea to leave those paper on actually doing that. see it's created the sea a little bit more now. I'm happy with that. Hopefully you can see. Look, that's me, the mad stamper. I wish I could get rid of these pop-ups. Molly's tried to get rid of them, I've said before, and she thought she had done it successfully, but no. So next time I see her, which won't be at the moment, I'm going to have to get her to have a look for me. Too risky, so they've put me off. No, I'm off work. Oh, sorry. Not yet, but I'm now off work for a while. Oh, sorry, I misread that. I thought you said you was now off to work. Sorry. Well, that's good, I suppose. So, now the first time I did this, actually, I think I might do this. I kind of messed up the first time I did it because I put a heavy line. I used this wavy line and I thought, oh, it looked really heavy and I wasn't happy with it. Hence why I then went over with a sponge dauber. And it turned out to be a happy accident because I actually quite liked the end result. So I think it was crumb cake. Let's try it. So I'm just gonna, yeah. And you think, oh, don't really like that. So then try to get rid of it. I'm trying not to cover up where, yeah, in my table moves like mad, which my one downstairs doesn't do. Yeah, maybe I need Sahara sand. I might try Sahara sand if crumb cake doesn't seem to cover it. But basically we're trying to cover those white lines in. Yeah, I think it does need that line, that stamp line. I know you probably can't see, I don't know. It's very subtle what that stamp does, or what I've done with the stamp. It kind of just gives it a little bit of definition. I think it needs it. And I'm going to come in with Sahara sand and try that. Ooh, I've just put my finger for a minute. So, and yes, I should change dauber, being lazy. But yeah, just building up the sand really, where the shoreline, where the, and I have to admit it doesn't look good at the moment, but hopefully it will when I've finished, she says, hopefully. Yeah, it will do. Once we get the white gel pen on it, which I nearly forgot to bring up, but I managed to remember just at the end. So yeah, this is where we're now going with the white gel pen. Basically just creating what would look like foam, or the white, well, the waves, but also like the white foamy frothy stuff you get when the tide comes in. Yeah, again, you probably can't see that very well, and it's my white gel pen unfortunately seems to be running out. And I have to say, yet again, we don't sell white gel pens anymore. We used to sell the Signo, which is what, don't think this is a Signo actually. Oh yes it is. You're the Uniball Signo. So it's usually quite good. As I say, I think it's just running out a little bit. I do seem to go through them quite quickly. But yeah, you just, and then on the waves you can add a little bit for highlight. As I say, you probably really can't see it on camera, I'm not sure. If you want to be really careful, you could get the white craft ink and use a very fine paintbrush. I haven't ever tried that, but, or white watercolour pencil, which I have brought up just in case. But I must admit, I always use a gel pen if I can. Yeah, I just want to get rid of that heaviness really over on that. It's just for effect, really. I think that'll... What does that look like? It's not too bad, is it? Still probably not as good as the original, but I'm happy enough with that, I think. Right, yeah, I think we're gonna leave it at that before I ruin it. Right, so this is the bit I love, taking the little girls off the mask. Get my pokey tool because it is stuck down quite well. I think this is how I managed to rip it last time. So you can see they really pop now against that background. So you can see I have coloured it in quite a lot. It looks actually quite nice, quite like that. You could do different effects with that, I guess, if you didn't want to colour it in. So there's an idea for you. But I am going to use Stampin' Blends to colour it in with. Used Stampin' Blends. When we use Stampin' Blends, these are our alcohol pens for anybody who doesn't know, and they're they act differently from felt tips or any other colour medium that you might use. Oh, hi Laura from here. The white line looks from like. Thank you, Laura. I'll take that from you because I know you're a really good artist. I can't compete with you, but thank you. So back, yeah, I'm losing Floaty Flamingo, dark and light. But yeah, you can do some good effects with these alcohol pens. They're very good because they blend really well. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, especially if you use them while they're wet. So what I mean is, you go in with the dark. I always go in with the dark, then I go over with the light. And when we use we've got two ends on them. We've got a thin end and a thick brush end. When we use the brush end, you must, because you've got a nice, can you see it, a very fine point. You want to keep that fine point for as long as possible. So you really want a really light touch. Start going heavy, then you ruin the nib. So the lightest you can be, the better. So yeah, I go in with the dark. Feeling the pressure now, Laura, with you watching me, knowing that, seeing some of your cards. Oh, I don't know. I thought that was too light. I'm going mad. There, sorry. Right, change that. This is the dark. It's a good job I've done the wrong. Oh dear. Right. That's the dark. That's better. In my defence, I have been up since 6 o'clock this morning, thanks to my dog, who decided she was hungry and woke me up, started barking. So yeah, always a light touch. So what you do is you circular motions, and that just helps to blend it in. They are very good for making you look like an artist, and you don't really have to be one. That's it. Pink for her, or Floaty Flamingo, and we're going to use Balmy Blue for the other dress. Hi Carol, how are you? No, oh God, I'm going to really feel the pressure with all you artists watching me. Another person who's very good at art. I hope you've been getting your art out, Carol, and doing some. Ideal opportunity at the moment. Best way to deal with all the stress, quite honestly. Just get your paints out and just ignore everything else going around us. Can you see that? So yeah, they start to come alive a little bit. But yeah, I'm sure you can think of some ways of colouring these little girls in different to, you know, they really do pop once you take that mask off. So do I, Susan. I love this set. Yeah, definitely. I really, really hope it does carry over. If it doesn't, I will use it, no doubt. I think I might use it in a scrapbooking. And there's that word again that I keep saying and that'll do, and I never do. But I intend to. So now you will notice, because even though I did line that mask up really well, there's a little ghost line around the little girls. I can see it, you may not be able to see it. So because I've used crumb cake as Sahara sand, I have got a crumb cake stamp and blend. So I'm just going to go round. Got the dark, and I don't know if the dark's going to be too dark. It's actually, yeah, it might be. It's quite nice though, the dark, because it kind of makes them pop a little bit more. And just gives a little bit of illusion of shadow, but also obviously gets rid of that awful white line. A little bit of shadow under the little girl's feet. Oh, gone onto her foot, but hey ho. Yeah, so it'll probably a little bit dark, but it'll probably dry a little bit lighter anyway, so you won't notice quite so much. Just wanna... There. Oh yeah, and then we've got the little gaps, if you see. We've got the little gaps where, just above the bucket, which I thought, can you see why I thought it was her dress? I thought the bucket was in her dress, I think, but then I realised, oh no, it's the background, so, oh well, I'll do it right this time tonight. See, this end started to go fuzzy and get ruined, so I can't use that end. Just have to use the thin end. It is the downside of them, although I do love them. And I use them a lot, hence why they do. Well, I know we use them a lot in class as well, so they do get well used. Yeah, you can hardly tell the difference between that and the ink, so that is good. Right. Normally when I'm doing the skin, I put a couple of colours on, but for speed tonight, I'm just using the ivory, just to keep it simple, really. But yeah, you can definitely spend a little bit more time creating some shadow highlights if you want. But you can get the colour lifter pen to lift some of the colour off. But I'm conscious that I've got other cards I want to show you as well. So oh, I've forgotten to go around her arm up there. Yeah, it's such a shame class was cancelled when we was looking forward to using this set, but hopefully, fingers crossed, when you come back it may still be current and we can use it. No, that's ivory. I am just going to... No, need a blue at that one. Slightly different blue, but it shouldn't matter too much. You probably can't see it, but there's just little bits of white that's just annoying me. Yeah, hair. Yeah, again, when yeah, I will do light and dark in her hair. And finish off Dark Daffodil Delight. Make a little blondie. This reminds me of my two girls actually, because Molly was the blonde, really white, a lot whiter than this actually, and Steph was dark. And there's a 3-year age gap between them, so I think that's why I love it so much, because it just brings back happy memories of them at the beach. And I'm sure I can find some photos to scrapbook to go with it. Right, nearly there. I'd be hopeless at doing the skin tones. It's not, you can see, Susan, tonight I just use ivory, and if that's, you know, it's perfectly okay with just ivory. You can get away with just using the one colour, not a problem. I have to say, if you're not used to doing it, you know, keep your colours basic. Start basic and then work. No, it doesn't matter. That is the good thing about these. You can keep it subtle and simple. If you're a really good colourist and really practice with them, you can do some amazing things with them. But I don't, I've not taken the time to practice with them as much as I probably should. But yeah, with alcohol pens, they really do come into their own. You can, a lot of the cartoonists and that use, not maybe these ones, but they do use alcohol pens, other famous ones. You get some excellent results. I just realised I put the shading on the wrong side there. Never mind. Really not thinking things through, but never mind. I'm not just showing you basically how to do it. Right, and I think we're nearly there. Apart from doing there's a few little things I can do that afterwards. Here it goes. So we'll mount it up now. So I'll do that on there. So you can see I've cut my layers. I'll write this all on my blog tomorrow what layers I've cut, but it's the usual ones, just decreasing by 5mm every time really. If you want thinner borders, as I said before, you can go 3mm and that gets you a nice thinner border. Oh, no, my glue, that's all. Yeah. I find when you've got a simple card, it's just nice to layer it on a few layers because it makes it look like a picture, as if it was in a frame. I mean, it would look nice in a frame, I think, if you know. In fact, I would love to do a frame like you did, Wanda, with the triathlon ones of all the ones in the set. And when I get round to it, I'm hoping to do that. Another thing on my list that I'd like to do. So layering it on crumb cake, which is obviously the colour that we used for the beach. And then we're mounting it on the Seaside Spray base. There. It didn't take too long. Maybe a little bit longer than I would have hoped, but not too bad. As I say, I think it might be a bit of a longer Facebook Live tonight, but I thought, well, what else is there to do really? So it's that. And I must admit, I didn't punch this. I haven't got a punch like this. I did die cut this, but you could just do it on a scrap of cardstock, or just use one of the, I don't know, use another punch, but this one just fitted. I'm thinking of you. Keep forgetting to clean the stamps afterwards. It's a good idea, Susan. Sort through your craft stuff, definitely. I must admit, I did that the other day. You might have seen on my Instagram post. I sorted out all my glues, sorted out all my re-inkers. Discovered that I was two missing, so I ordered them. They came today actually. And I might do another Facebook Live tomorrow. I'm not sure because I actually ordered the Ornate Garden Suite, which is it's coming up in the new catalogue, but they've released it early, and it will go live to the general public on April the 1st, and it is amazing. So yeah, I might unbox that. I might do a Facebook Live of unboxing that. There we go. So it's not too dissimilar from the original. Yeah, the dress is a little bit darker on the top one, isn't it? So maybe, I don't know. So, but yeah, two nice little cards, I think. Right, so moving on, we will do, I'm going to show you some of the techniques that I did to do the paper with. She says, well, I'm just trying to think where the paper is. Oh yeah, so that's the card. I'll show you. Right. What have I done with them? I've put them somewhere. Here we are. Right. So simple as. Start off with, I'll just show you. It's not exactly rocket science. It's just colouring in yet again. You know, just choose some coordinating colours or contrasting. It doesn't really matter. I just use the brush end and just go for it. I didn't follow any pattern. Just went completely random. So, and what the funny thing is, when you finish it, I don't know, you get a nice background on the back actually, which is a little bit more subtle. You could use that side if you wanted to. So I think you get the general gist with this one. What I did, coloured some squares in, coloured some more in. Really not going to sit there and colour loads in front because you will get bored. But yeah, so that's what you do with that one. This one I will show you because this is a little bit different, I suppose. So with this one I did that and probably Poppy Parade, not sure. Just need a yellow dauber. Right, so yeah, I did this. So I just went in the middle with a good old squidge basically with a circle. Yet again, you can use the brayer to go over these. You can do ombre effects, two-tone effects. I believe that's what they showed in the catalogue, which was very nice. But I just thought I would just try and show you a few little things different. So I was racking my brains today to try and think of some different techniques and different ways of doing it. Hiya, Pat. Hope you're keeping busy too. Oh, yeah, you can see I got a red line on that one. That was a... It's right, that'll cover it in a minute when I go over it. Well, you could leave it just like that, couldn't you? That's quite nice. They look like daisies on camera. They look really quite good. Probably not quite so much in the flesh, but yeah, they look. Oh, actually, that looks really good on there from what I can see. So yeah, that's another effect you can do with it. Oh, my arm's aching. Oh dear, I think I pressed too hard. There, so that's that. Then going with Poppy Parade or any other colour that you choose. And I just, yeah, oh god, that's a bit dark. That's a bit dark, but that will soon blend in. And just, yeah, try and avoid the yellow if you can, which I haven't very successfully. I think you get the, you can leave a bit of the white showing if you want, but I prefer to colour it in if I can. But yeah, very quick and easy, but quite effective, I thought. And you know, I said, Wanda, I wish I'd have bought another packet. Guess what? When I opened my parcel today, I had actually ordered another pack. I hadn't realised what I'd ordered, so I'm quite happy about that because I can now have lots of it to do the kimono ladies or the geisha girl, because I love that card. I hadn't used that set until today and I was wondering how I could use it. And I must admit, when I saw these lovely Oriental these. I just thought they looked so much like Oriental papers, like kimonos, so it kind of inspired me a little bit. I think we need inspiring a little bit at the moment, so it's good to look at all the things that are around us, all the good things that are around us, to get our inspiration. That's it, a little bit dark in the middle, but we can cover that when we, so there you go, let's create that. But obviously the lovely metallic shows through still, which is really nice. So that's that one. Then, as I said, you can just, with the floral ones, just cut, that's just a watercolour brush, colouring some of them in. Same with the Stampin' Blends. I really don't think I need to show you how to do that. I will show you probably these two. They probably are the ones that you might need to watch a little bit. So, she says, oh, I know, right. I used reinkers for this, I think. Yes, I'm pretty sure I did. So, for this one, I can't remember my colours. I'm going to guess at Mango Melody and possibly, we'll go with Calypso Coral. I don't think, it doesn't matter, we'll just get a different effect. Might help if I get a blank bit of paper though. Oh, what have I done with them again? Here they are. Right, keep a bit out, Sarah. Thank you, Susan. But yeah, this paper really is beautiful. I mean, it's done all the work for you. You really don't have to do a lot. What am I doing? Right, what am I doing? Right, so a little bit of Calypso. This is where your reinkers come in really handy. And they're so concentrated, so you really don't need a lot. I'm getting confused with my colours again already. I think that was Calypso Coral. Mango Melody. Right, aqua brush, watercolour brush. So I want the lightest colour first, a little bit of water. Quite watery, but not so much that we want to flood our, and have some kitchen towel or tissue, toilet roll, whatever you can get hold of at the moment to hand, just in case. So, and then we just go on, obviously because it's embossed, that will resist on the flowers. But yeah, you need it fairly wet because you want to be able to get the other. Very quick and random. Quickly try and wash your brush off. And then go in. Just, yeah, try not to go over the lighter colour, but kind of merging them in as well. Yeah, it doesn't look like I did use this colour. I don't know, can't remember which colour I used, but hey ho, they're still all colours that work together. Yeah, may need to be a little bit wetter because you want them to kind of blend. And you do have to try and work quite quickly, but so you really don't have to be too precise. That needs to be a bit wetter. Can always go in a bit heavier if it comes out too light. Yeah, I think you'll have to agree. That's a very quick, easy way to make some pretty backgrounds. Okay, and that's basically it. That's how I did it. You can see just let it dry, then obviously you can see one of the originals. Oh, it's really hard to show you without it glimmering, and that's the one I've just done. Yeah, you could put more than two. Oh, I've missed a bit. You can put two of them more. Alright, excuse me, more than two colours in if you wanted to. I just want to keep to two. But yeah. Unfortunately, it's really hard to show you on camera and under these lights. But yeah, it really is lovely. Yeah, as soon as I did it, I thought, well, yeah, definitely Oriental. And the light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, oh, I've got an Oriental set that I can use that I haven't used. So, bingo. Right. Do I need that anymore? Oh yeah, I might as well use those same. No, I'm not going to use Calypso Coral because I want to use. I'll just wipe Calypso Coral off. So I'm going to use Flirty. Right, so they'll dry. You can either use your heat gun to dry it or just let it dry naturally if you've got the time. So we're going to do this one, which I can't really tell what the flower is. Don't know what do it could be a camellia, maybe. I'm not quite sure. They're quite oriental, aren't they? We'll talk about that. I've got my magnolia is beautiful in my garden at the moment as well. I get up every morning, I look out my window to see that. It's a lovely sight. Right, so we're just gonna colour these in. So you want a fairly light. Oh, I know what I should have done. I'm gonna have to go around that. Should have coloured the centres in first with a yellow then. But basically, I just go all over with a wash, as simple as quickly as possible, so it doesn't overly dry. I know I've got the window open actually, so that's probably why things are drying quickly. Get a little bit of fresh air in, it's lovely. And next week, or this weekend, the clocks go forward, don't they, ladies? I'm sure they do. So it'll be even lighter. There we go. I don't under lockdown. I don't really want to know about that. Where's the mouse gone? Let's get rid of that pop-up. I'm trying to see the time. Oh gosh, yeah, I have been on here for a while. Right, so then you can just go with a little bit of a stronger colour. You probably can't see what I'm doing, sorry. Right, so I've been going over with a wash, and then I'm going a little bit more of the pigmentation, where it's a bit stronger. And just, yeah, go in and make it darker in places where you want the... You don't have to be too careful. This looks quite strong at the moment, but it will dry quite light. Really can be haphazard, you don't have to be too precise at all. Well, I'm not anyway. You can if you want to be, but yeah, so you can probably see that looks quite vivid at the moment, but that will tone down. And then same over here really. I don't think I probably need to show you all of it. Just do the centre. Leaves are the same, just do I think I used Old Olive, nice colour wash of Old Olive, and then go over it with a stronger pigment where the veins would be and the shading. So it really isn't difficult. But I did think it was rather pretty. There. So I think you get the general gist of what I've done. And then I use so this is Mango Melody, and then I use Flirty Flamingo on this one. So Mango Melody and Flirty Flamingo, Old Olive, and then I believe Poppy Parade for the little berry type things. Yeah, and that's it. So now I'll quickly show you how I made the card, although that's not difficult either. Let's put that to the side. But yeah, if any of you are thinking of putting a last final order in for the celebration, I can't recommend these enough. I really can't. I think you would have, oh, I'll just put them, you would have great fun making some lovely designs with these. And I would love to see if any of you do get what you can do with yours. I really would. Because I do believe there's loads of things you could do. Right, here we do. Make the colour. Oh, hiya Diane. Go on, haven't you got jet lag? Whew. I'm glad you're back safely though. I bet you are as well. I don't know how long you were over here for. But yeah, not good, but hey ho, we've just got to grin and bear it and get on with what we've got to do. Right, so I'm mounting this on Mango Melody because obviously that's one of the colours I used in the background. And mount that on the card. Yeah. All I can say is thank goodness for crafting at the moment. I don't think any of us will be too perturbed by it. I know it's obviously not nice being able to go out, but at least we have got plenty we can do to occupy ourselves. Great time for being creative, really. Doing better, thanks. Good. Have you been poorly then? I didn't... Oh, I hope you haven't. Right, so here's the vellum. You probably can't see it right. That's... I'll show you the book in a minute just before I go. That's, yeah, you get a pack of this in 3 different colours. I think it's Pool Party, the green, whatever it is, the light, oh, I can't remember the name. I'll show you before I go. But it's, yeah, it's slightly raised. It's embossed vellum. And this is the, whatever the green is, I can't remember the name. Soft sea foam, that's the one. So, and we're using a trick of how we put the glue on. And oh, that's got ink on, right. Normally, I would use my silicone sheet. But as usual, I kind of don't know where that is. If I'd have looked for it, I probably would have found it, if I'm honest. So I'm going to be a bit naughty and use a block. And trust me, it's difficult getting it off a block. I did try to, but I found my alcohol got it off, so no worries there. So basically all we do is get a sponge. I've got a washing up sponge, any sponge really. Just sponge, you just want a very light layer. And we sponge it over the vellum, because obviously normal glue would show under the vellum. You really don't want that, but if you do it this way, although you see the splodging at the moment, when it dries you really don't see it. Marvellous technique for applying vellum. So that's that. 10 days. Oh, I don't know what you mean by that, but I assume you've been poorly for 10 days, or were you here for 10 days? Right, put that on. So I like it because you can still see the flowers underneath. You may not be able to very well, but I can. And then I don't know what I've done with the card. We're just going to. Now normally I would have done a bigger dice. I would have done a die cut circle, but obviously because I'm doing simple stamping, trying not to do that. And I'm looking for my stamp set. So yeah, the temple unfortunately doesn't quite fit in. So this is the stamp set. This is called Power of Hope, and this is in the first celebration catalogue. You get this and an embossing folder. I think it's called Granite. I'm not quite sure about that. And that's if you spend £90, because obviously you're getting that and the embossing folder. So quite good value. So and up until today, I hadn't used it. So, and I do think it's quite appropriate at the moment. Hope is the power that makes all things possible. If we haven't got hope, well, there's no point, is there? We have to have hope. So. Ah, there for 10 days. Well, I hope you had a nice time with your daughter and your grandchildren. Love the whiteboard and reminds of holiday. My order arrived while we were there and I haven't had time. Oh, yeah. Definitely, Diane. Need to play. And thank you, Laura. Right, so just stamp the temples. So I can't quite get it all on. I would have normally done a bigger die cut. Or done a die cut, but I'm trying not to use die cutting for beginner stampers. So that's soft sea foam. Then we're just going to stamp the words in black. Again, Memento black. I hope I'm not boring you for going out nearly an hour long now. Gosh, I think that's the longest one I've ever done. But I thought, well, it's nice to connect. Although I can't hear all you, it's lovely knowing that you're all here. At least we're all together. So yeah, pop these on foam pads, dimensionals. Oh, it's really nice with that fresh air coming in, it really is. Right, pop that on there. Then I've got a little bit of Whisper White. Just going to stamp the geisha girl, lady, whatever you want to call her. Cool, I cut that. Might be able to get another one out of there actually. Right, stamp. So we want to go with the colours that are in there. I can't remember what that orange is. I really can't. Oh gosh. Okay. Don't think it is Calypso, but no. I'll tell you what. We'll go with mango. That'll do. Then I know it'll be right. I don't know where the ivory is. It's in the other ones. Talk amongst yourselves when I find the right ones. And what colour did I do the brolly? Green. I have to admit, I know I've used quite a few Stampin' Blends tonight, but that's, you can tell I love them. I haven't even got the whole set of them yet. I need to. But I do have to keep replacing the ones that I use a lot of. Yeah, when they're new and when they're good, they've got a really nice fine point on that brush end until you start squidging it. So I have to be conscious all the time to keep it nice and light. Right. Right. So, has any of you got anything lined up that you're planning on doing, crafting wise? Or some of you might be sewing maybe. not overly. I don't think you'd get many kimonos that colour, but well, they'd be prettily decorated anyway, wouldn't they? Usually, you don't usually get plain ones, but as I say, this would be an excellent one to do paper piecing on if you can find a small enough print. So I was going to try on that paper. I just felt it was a little bit too big, the design. So yeah, just fussy cutting it out. There are no dies for this, but as I say, it's quite an easy shape to do. As I always say, move the paper, not the scissors too much, especially when you're doing circles or curves. Just gonna chop that bit off. This umbrella reminds me of a lily pad, I don't know why. It's that kind of shape, I think. There we go. Can use that a little bit. And I'm just going to glue that bit on there. And yet again, I've been naughty, I haven't prepared to do the insides again, so that is my task though, excuse me, for the week, is to start doing some insides of cards and sending them out. Which actually I just want to discuss about that really. So there we go. Voila, finished. So yeah, I had planned to no, actually I'll wait till I turn the camera back on. Right, I'll switch to me. Here we go. Right, so that's that. Right, face cam. Hello. Right, yeah, just want to have a quick chat. Now my plan was to over the next couple of weeks obviously to send lots of cards out. I like to send cards out and I think it's an ideal time for us to do that. However, it's come to my attention through several people in a group that you have to be very careful, obviously, about sending cards out, especially to people who are vulnerable. So I was a little bit worried about it yesterday when somebody mentioned it to me. Oh, do you realise that you could be passing germs on or whatever? So yeah, but I think you just have to use your common sense. If you do, I did come up with a suggestion of maybe if either on the envelope before they open it is to just to suggest to them maybe to wash their hands after handling the card, or inside on a post-it note just suggest that they wash their hands just as an extra precaution. I hadn't really thought about it too much, but yeah, I would just hate to pass it on to an old person or just somebody who's ill. It would be awful, wouldn't it? I say it's not what we want to think about when we want to send out cards to people who are, you know, feeling vulnerable or just feeling isolated and lonely, whatever. That's our cards are meant to be uplifting and make people happy, and that's what I want to do. And yeah, so it was a little bit, oh, what do you do? What do you do? You know, it's so difficult. You can't do right for doing wrong, and it's sad really. But all I would say, if you are sending cards out, I can't obviously advise you what to do, but you know, if you are, maybe just as a little added precaution, make sure that you suggest that they wash their hands. I think that's you know, being sensible. That's all we can do really, without going mad. So, but I just leave that with you because I say it's something that's been playing on my mind. I don't quite know what to do, but I just want to send cards out. I've got loads of cards. I've got time on my hands now. And you know, if it cheers somebody up a little bit and brightens their day, well then, you know, that's what we do. We try to make a difference with our cards, don't we, ladies? So I just wanted to mention it just in case you weren't aware or hadn't thought about it, because I say I hadn't really given it much thought. I really hadn't, which was probably a bit selfish of me. I don't know. And also, when you do the envelope, maybe don't lick it. Tastes funny anyway. Get your water brush or sponge. Just don't lick it. You know, we none of us know if we've got the virus or anything, and we just don't know. But we've got to take those precautions. So just be sensible and just be wise and do what we can. Just do what we can. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me for this long Facebook. That is my longest in history. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it didn't bore you too much, and I hope you enjoyed the projects. And yeah, I may do another 1 or 2 this week. I don't know. It all depends on my time. But thank you very much, and take care and stay safe and look after yourselves. Oh, thank you so much for great too, Elsa. Oh, thank you, Susan. I'm glad. See, I never know. I never know if people enjoy it. I actually enjoy it. I guess because I'm talking to myself and nobody's answering me back. Nobody's arguing with me. So I enjoy it. So I'm glad you enjoy it too. But yeah, please all take care and stay safe. Thank you for joining me. Bye.